When life is gentle, we often believe we are strong, but strength is not proven when everything is going well. Anyone can smile in the sunshine. Anyone can feel confident when doors are open and prayers seem instantly answered. True strength is revealed in the storm. It is in the pressure, the heartbreak, the unanswered questions, and the long nights that your spirit is shaped. Comfort may feel good, but it does not build courage. Ease does not produce endurance. It is hardship that digs deep into your soul and shows you what you are truly made of. Think about it. Every great testimony is born out of difficulty. No one discovers the depth of their faith when nothing is required of them. Faith grows when it is tested, when it is stretched, when it is forced to stand without visible proof. Life's storms are not sent to destroy you. They are allowed to develop you. They strip away self-reliance and teach you to depend on something greater than yourself. When everything you leaned on is shaken, you learn what truly holds you up. In hard seasons, it may feel like you are being punished, but often you are being prepared. Strength is never accidental. It is built layer by layer through resistance. Just as muscles grow by being stretched and torn before they are rebuilt stronger, your spirit grows through trials that challenge your patience, your trust, and your hope. What feels like breaking is often becoming. What feels like the end is often the beginning of a deeper faith. Many people ask, why does life have to be so hard? But the better question is, what is this hardship teaching me? Storms reveal weakness, but they also reveal strength you didn't know you had. They teach you perseverance. They teach you humility. They teach you how to stand when there is no applause, no reassurance, and no immediate relief. In those moments, something powerful is happening inside you, even if you cannot see it yet. If life never challenged you, your faith would remain shallow. If nothing ever tested you, your courage would never mature. Easy roads do not produce strong travelers. It is the uphill climb that strengthens the legs. It is the resistance of the wind that teaches the eagle how to soar. In the same way, the struggles you face today are shaping an unbreakable spirit within you. Do not despise the season you are in just because it is uncomfortable. Do not give up simply because the road is rough. What you are enduring now is building the resilience you will need tomorrow. One day you will look back and realize that the very thing you thought would defeat you actually developed you. The storm did not weaken you, it refined you. So when life gets hard, do not assume you are failing. You may be growing, you may be learning to stand firm when everything else is shaking. You may be becoming stronger than you ever imagined. And when you come out on the other side, you will not just survive. You will stand with a spirit that cannot be broken. There comes a moment in every life when you reach the end of your own strength. You've tried to hold it together, tried to push through, tried to fix what feels broken, and still the weight remains. That moment can feel frightening because we are taught to believe that strength means never being weak. But the truth is, real strength begins when you finally admit you cannot do it on your own. That is not failure. That is the doorway to something greater. When your hands are empty and your heart is tired, faith steps in. Faith is not the absence of fear. It is choosing to trust even when fear is loud. It is believing when you don't feel confident, standing when you feel like collapsing, and moving forward when you can't see the next step. Human strength has limits, but faith connects you to a power that does not run out. When your strength ends, that is where faith begins to work. So many people think they must have everything figured out before they can trust. They wait until they feel strong enough, brave enough, worthy enough. But faith does not ask you to be strong. It asks you to be willing. Willing to believe when the outcome is uncertain. Willing to surrender control when life feels chaotic. Willing to trust that even in weakness you are being carried. There is a quiet power in surrender that the world does not understand. Surrender is not giving up. It is letting go of the illusion that you were ever in control. It is placing your fear, your doubt, and your exhaustion into hands greater than your own. When you do that, something remarkable happens. Peace begins to replace panic. Courage rises where fear once lived. Strength flows into places that felt completely drained. Faith does not always change your circumstances immediately, but it changes you while you wait. It steadies your heart in the middle of the storm. It gives you the courage to take one more step when quitting seems easier. It reminds you that you are not alone, even when the road feels long and lonely. Faith whispers hope when everything else is silent. You may feel weak right now. You may feel overwhelmed, unsure, and stretched beyond your limits. But weakness does not disqualify you. It positions you. It places you in the exact spot where true strength can meet you. The strongest people are not those who never struggle. They are those who learn where to place their trust when they do. Do not be ashamed of your weakness. Do not hide it or fight it. Let it lead you to faith. Let it teach you to lean instead of striving, to trust instead of fearing, to believe instead of giving up. Because when you stop relying solely on yourself, you discover a strength that cannot be shaken. And in that place where you feel weakest, you will find the power to stand. There is a question that rises in every hurting heart, and it is one of the hardest questions to face. Why? Why this pain? Why this loss? Why this season of struggle that seems to have no end? When suffering enters your life, it can feel random, unfair, and deeply personal. In those moments, it is easy to believe that your pain has no meaning. But the truth is, pain is never meaningless, even when it is painful beyond words. Every season of suffering carries a purpose, even when you cannot see it in the moment. Pain has a way of shaping us in ways comfort never could. It softens hearts that have grown hard, humbles spirits that have grown proud, and deepens compassion for others who are hurting. What feels like a setback may actually be a setup for growth that would not be possible any other way. Often pain strips away what is temporary so that what is eternal can take root. It removes false security, shallow confidence, and misplaced priorities. In the quiet ache of hardship, you begin to see what truly matters. You learn to value faith over fear, character over convenience, and hope over temporary relief. Pain refines your perspective, even when it feels like it is breaking your heart. There are lessons that can only be learned through suffering. Patience is formed when waiting becomes unavoidable. Endurance is developed when quitting feels easier than continuing. Compassion is born when you understand the weight of another person's tears because you have shed your own. These are not lessons you would choose, but they are lessons that shape a life of depth and purpose. Pain also prepares you to help others. One day, the comfort you receive in your darkest season becomes the comfort you offer to someone else. Your wounds become wisdom. Your tears become testimony. The very thing that once brought you to your knees may become the source of strength you use to lift someone else up. Suffering has a way of turning broken places into bridges for others to cross. It is important to understand that purpose does not mean the pain was good or deserved. It means the pain was not wasted. Even the deepest sorrow can be transformed into something meaningful. Even the hardest loss can shape a heart that is wiser, gentler, and more resilient. You may not understand the reason now, and you may never fully understand it this side of eternity, but purpose is still at work, quietly and faithfully. When you are in the middle of suffering, it may feel like nothing good can come from it, but growth often happens underground, unseen and unnoticed. Roots are forming, strength is developing, faith is being deepened. One day what feels like devastation will reveal itself as transformation. So do not let pain convince you that your life is without meaning. Do not allow suffering to steal your hope. Even now, in the middle of the struggle, purpose is unfolding. And one day you will see that your pain shaped you, not to destroy you, but to make you whole. There are moments in life when the silence feels heavier than the struggle itself. You pray, you hope, you wait, and yet nothing seems to change. In those moments, the greatest fear is not the pain you are facing, but the thought that you might be facing it alone. It can feel as though you have been forgotten, as though heaven is quiet and help is far away. But the truth is, even in the silence, you are not alone. presence is not always loud. It does not always announce itself with instant answers or dramatic changes. Often it is felt in the quiet strength that keeps you standing when you should have fallen. It is felt in the calm that settles your heart in the middle of chaos. It is felt in the unseen support that carries you through days you never thought you would survive. When you feel weakest, you are often being held the closest. There are times when life strips away every visible source of comfort. Friends may not understand. Solutions may not appear. The path ahead may be unclear. Yet even then, you are not abandoned. In those lonely valleys, something deeper is happening. You are learning that your strength does not come from what surrounds you, but from the one who walks with you through it. You may not feel comfort every moment, but presence remains constant. Feelings change, circumstances shift, but presence does not leave. Even when you cannot sense it, you are being guided, protected, and sustained. Just as a parent watches over a child while they sleep, unseen but alert, there is care at work even when you are unaware of it. Sometimes the struggle is allowed to continue, not because you are forgotten, but because growth is still taking place. The journey through hardship teaches trust. It teaches you to listen more closely, to depend more deeply, and to walk by faith rather than by sight. The absence of immediate rescue does not mean absence of care. It often means something greater is being formed within you. In your darkest moments, you are never walking in empty space. There is purpose in the path even when you do not understand it. Every step is known, every tear is noticed. Nothing you are experiencing is overlooked. You are seen in your pain, understood in your weakness, and valued beyond what you can measure. When fear tells you that you are alone, remember this: you have never taken a step without companionship. You have never cried a tear without it being seen. You have never faced a battle without help beside you. Even when your strength is gone, you are still being carried. So when life feels overwhelming and the road feels lonely, do not let despair convince you that you have been abandoned. You are not walking alone through the valley. You are being guided through it, and in that truth you will find the courage to keep going. Waiting is one of the hardest disciplines of life. We live in a world that wants everything immediately. Quick answers, instant results, fast relief. So when you are asked to wait, it can feel like punishment. It can feel like nothing is happening, like your prayers are being ignored, like time itself is working against you. But waiting is not wasted time. It is one of the deepest places where endurance is formed. There is a difference between delay and denial, and too often we confuse the two. Just because an answer has not arrived does not mean it is not coming. Growth often happens in the waiting, quietly and invisibly. Roots grow before fruit appears. Foundations are laid before walls are raised. What you are waiting for may be taking time because you are being prepared for it. Waiting teaches you trust in a way that action never can. When you can do nothing but wait, you are forced to decide where your confidence truly rests. Will you trust what you see, or will you trust what you believe? Will you lean on your own understanding, or will you place your hope in something greater than your circumstances? Waiting reveals the condition of the heart. In the waiting season, impatience whispers lies. It tells you that you are forgotten, that nothing will change, that giving up woo, be easier than holding on. But endurance is built by choosing to believe even when you cannot see progress. It is built by continuing to pray, continue to hope, and continue to stand when every emotion tells you to quit. There is purpose in timing, even when it is difficult to accept. If everything came immediately, you would never develop patience. If every prayer were answered instantly, you would never learn persistence. If every door opened on demand, you would never learn how to trust. Timing shapes character. It strengthens resolve. It deepens faith. Sometimes what you want arrives late because what you need must come first. You may be waiting for change, but the waiting is changing you. You may be waiting for relief, but endurance is being formed. You may be waiting for clarity, but trust is being strengthened. The delay is not working against you, it is working within you. Do not measure progress only by what you can see. Some of the most important work happens beneath the surface. While you wait, courage is being built. Wisdom is being developed. Faith is being refined. One day you will look back and realize that the waiting was not empty. It was essential. So hold on when waiting feels unbearable. Stay faithful when answers feel distant. Trust when the timing does not make sense. Because endurance is not developed in the moment of breakthrough, but in the long season before it. And those who learn to wait with faith will stand stronger when the answer finally comes. There is a moment that comes after the storm has passed, when you realize you are still standing. You may be tired, marked by the struggle, and changed by what you have endured, but you are standing. That moment is not accidental. It is the result of faith held on to, trust maintained, and endurance lived out when giving up would have been easier. This is where an unbreakable spirit reveals self. An unbreakable spirit does not mean a life without scars. It means a heart that refuses to surrender to despair. It means choosing hope when circumstances argue against it. Victory is not defined by the absence of hardship, but by the decision to rise again after being knocked down. Each time you choose to stand, something within you grows stronger. The battles you have faced were not meant to defeat you, but to refine you. Every trial has shaped your character. Every moment of doubt has taught you where to place your trust. Every season of waiting has deepened your resilience. You are not the same person you were before the struggle, and that is not a loss, it is growth. Strength has been formed in places that once felt fragile. Hope becomes powerful when it is tested. Anyone can hope when life is easy, but hope that survives hardship is unshakable. It carries a quiet confidence, not because circumstances are perfect, but because faith has learned to stand regardless of them. This kind of hope does not depend on outcomes. It rests in something deeper and more secure. An unbreakable spirit also carries purpose beyond personal survival. Your perseverance becomes a light to others. People watch how you endure. They see how you respond to pain, how you rise from disappointment, how you keep believing when it would be understandable to quit. Your journey gives courage to those who are still in the middle of their struggle. Do not underestimate the impact of your endurance. What you have walked through and survived becomes proof that hardship does not have the final word. Your story speaks hope into broken places. Your resilience reminds others that strength is possible even when life is heavy. The victory you carry is not just for you, it is meant to inspire. There will be days ahead when challenges return, because life does not promise an end to struggle. But you now carry something within you that cannot be taken away. You have learned how to stand. You have learned where your strength comes from. You have learned that even when circumstances are uncertain, your spirit can remain firm. So walk forward with confidence. Not because life will always be easy, but because you are stronger than you were before. Not because you will never fall again, but because you know how to rise. The same strength that carried you through will continue to sustain you. And with that unbreakable